Why is there no legit competitors to YouTube? Everyone is citing namespace, which is a valid reason. But also, it's expensive AF. Serving video takes a lot. Live transcoding at that scale is no easy feat, requiring a large compute platform, plus storage, data center, power costs. YT has petabytes, exabytes of data. That's a lot lol. I would love for a real competitor, but it will take serious capital. Dailymotion stopped trying competing with YouTube as soon as YouTube joined the Google family. Nowadays they provide live stream solution to media. Another classic alternative would be Vimeo. There is a couple of recent viable alternative, PeerTube being like the most known one, as it's used the ActivityPub protocol. Like Mastodon and Lemmy, it can reaches the millions already using these apps. And the web BitTorrent help controlling the bandwidth cost, but the decentralized approach frighten many newcomer. Library use some blockchain tech to stream video and somehow monetize. Then big YouTuber to ads for service like CuriosityStream, which have a paying model ab initio. Even Google was not able to compete with YouTube. When YouTube was still young, Google attempted creating its own service, Google Video. And after a few years they decided to shutter it and just buy YouTube instead. Because it's not good enough to just be YouTube but better. You have to actually provide a significant enough draw that you are going to pull a large majority of people who have become very comfortable and at home on YouTube over to the new platform. Creators are going to stay where the audience stays, and it's difficult to get a large majority of the audience to move to a new platform without their beloved creators being on that platform, so you end up in a cyclical issue where they need to draw in viewers so that they can attract creators, but they can't attract creators without having viewers. On the rare instances a YouTube competitor pops up, the few creators that switch over usually lose a majority of their viewer base, and the viewer base does not follow them, so they go back to YouTube, where their main viewer base is. Because YouTube is a bad business and has generally struggled to turn a profit. It's a common problem among social media sites. Generating a massive user base is a huge hurdle. You need to create the best experience for your users to get them loyal. That usually means less intrusive ads. But transitioning can be brutal. People might actually leave in droves. YouTube has the terrible problem of requiring massive data storage just to function. It's not an enviable business to enter at all, because it was the first that got popular. Facebook also has no real competitors if you look at numbers, because storage and hosting is expensive. People upload more than 500 hours of content to YouTube every minute, or roughly 264 gigabytes of data a minute. Think about the HDD you have in your computer. It's probably a TB. Now imagine that being completely filled up in 4 minutes. Now consider the fact that you also have to duplicate all that data for redundancy, and you have to make it available for millions of people to watch it. Or billions in some cases. You're talking about massive amounts of storage space, huge bandwidth caps, distributed content delivery networks all over the world to speed things up, major electricity bills to run all of this, and of course people to manage the physical hardware. And all of it YouTube offers for free because Google takes a loss on it. Anyone that wanted to compete with YouTube would have to be willing to sacrifice boatloads of money trying to attract enough people to make the venture profitable. No one has enough money to host it as Google. Nico Video is pretty popular outside of the Anglosphere, but you'd need both enough content to occupy the user base, and a large enough audience to be that user base. Unless multiple creators and personalities with large Non-shared fanbases switch to a new platform all at once. There isn't enough of either. If Google can't turn a profit from it, I doubt anyone could, quite honestly. The cost of running YouTube is astronomical. They've invented tech just to reduce costs and never-ending storage scaling. 4.3 petabytes a day is uploaded to YouTube. TikTok is probably the closest competitor at this point. Make one. There are two ways this will end. You don't succeed. Everybody is on YouTube and they are fighting to keep it that way. Nobody uses your platform. The alternative is that the number of users gets bigger every hour. Your NEM platform is a banger. You mastered every attorney Google threw at you. They didn't stop you. Next thing to happen is a $3 billion offer from YouTube. They would like to integrate your platform into their services. They will call it Longs. You started that platform to be a competition to YouTube. But $3 billion later. Nah. They have had Google money for a long time now. Same reason there's no real Twitch competitor. Unless you want to count Kick. Let's not. They were the first big ones that got mainstream. And now they both are owned by giant corporations with practically infinite money. YouTube is not and will never be profitable. Only a company like Google could ever even hope to tank the financial losses continuously. Rumble is setting out to compete with YouTube. Video hosting is expensive. Google is a huge ad company, so they can fund it. Anyone else would have to charge users or use Google or another company's ads. In which case they don't get the full profit, so again, less profitable. 'Cause quantity is tied to quality here. Any competitor starts with 0 videos on their platform. If you want to find a video about something, you know you'll find it on YouTube and almost certainly won't find it on any competitor. For the same reason alternatives to Twitter, Reddit, etc. never really took off. It takes a certain critical mass of users for a platform relying on user-generated content to take off. This creates a very high barrier to entry when there's already an established presence in the field. Mastodon doesn't have the user base of Twitter, and so struggles to produce enough interesting content that users would prefer to go there over Twitter. Same goes for Rattle and Reddit or Dailymotion and YouTube. Even if creators don't like the platform, it's where the audience is. Even if users don't like the platform, it's where all their favorite creators are. It's a catch-22. To bring the content, they need the user base. But to attract the users, they need the content. The only ways to establish a successful new social media site are to be the first mover to establish your niche. Facebook, YouTube, Discord, Twitter, etc. Or, on the very rare occasion it's an option, be the first to fill a vacuum. The only notable example I can think of is TikTok taking over the short-form video space vacated by the collapse of Vine. Vimeo is ideal for professionals since it has less compression and promotes filmmakers. But it costs money to use a lot of the features that YouTube has. YouTube rose to prominence by breaking copyright law before IP owners knew how to react. If YouTube started today the way it did back then, they'd be sued out of existence before they got traction.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.